Beams of moonlight pierced through the thick fog that engulfed the deserted streets as I made my way towards the night market. The tantalizing aroma of exotic spices and sizzling street food filled the air, drawing me closer like a moth to a flame. Curiosity mingled with a hint of trepidation as I stepped into the labyrinth of stalls, each one teeming with peculiar trinkets and eerie artifacts. The market was alive with whispered rumors, tales of supernatural occurrences that plagued those who dared to stay past midnight. Skeptical, yet captivated by the enigma that hung in the air, I pressed on, weaving through the maze of vendors. The flickering lanterns cast dancing shadows on the faces of the nocturnal patrons, adding an air of mystery to the scene. As I ventured deeper into the market, the atmosphere grew increasingly sinister. The vendors' smiles turned into sly grins, their eyes gleaming with mischief. A chill crept down my spine, but I couldn't tear myself away from the allure of the unknown. A stall caught my eye, a curious old man with gnarled hands and a knowing smirk on his face. He beckoned me closer, his raspy voice barely audible above the cacophony of the market. "Want to see something truly terrifying?" he whispered. Intrigued, I nodded, unable to resist the lure of the forbidden. The old man led me to a dimly lit tent at the end of a narrow alley. The air inside was heavy with an otherworldly energy, causing the hair on the back of my neck to stand on end. The tent was filled with peculiar curiosities, a collection of antique dolls, their glassy eyes seeming to follow my every move. A dusty Ouija board lay on a table, its letters worn and faded. A shiver ran down my spine as I noticed a wall adorned with photographs of people, their faces contorted in fear and despair. Suddenly, the old man's voice broke the silence. "These are the lost souls," he said, his voice laden with sorrow. "Each one trapped in a never-ending nightmare, a curse that befalls those who venture too far into the darkness of the night market." My heart raced as I realized the gravity of my situation. The old man's smile widened, revealing rows of sharp, yellowed teeth. "You see, my friend, the night market is no ordinary place. It feeds on the fears and desires of those who dare to enter. It preys on the weak-willed, trapping them in an eternal cycle of terror." As panic surged through me, I tried to flee, but the exit had vanished, replaced by an impenetrable wall of shadows. The old man's laughter echoed through the tent as he disappeared into thin air, leaving me trapped in this nightmare. Now, I wanted the night market, forever haunted by the tormented souls who came before me. Each night, as the market comes alive with sinister energy, I am forced to relive their fears, their nightmares merging with my own. Beware the night market, for it is a place where the line between reality and nightmare blurs, where the supernatural thrives, and where the price of curiosity may be your very soul. I had always heard whispers about the mysterious night market that appeared in our small town once a year. People spoke of its enchanting atmosphere, where strange and exotic goods were sold under the moonlight. Curiosity consumed me, and I couldn't resist the allure of the market any longer. Little did I know, my decision would forever haunt me. As I approached the outskirts of the market, a sense of unease washed over me. The air grew colder, and the familiar sounds of the town faded away. The dimly lit stalls cast eerie shadows that danced in the night, as if the very darkness itself was alive. Hesitant, yet captivated, I ventured deeper into the heart of this mysterious place. The first stall I encountered was adorned with ancient trinkets and mystical artifacts. The vendor, an old man with piercing eyes, beckoned me closer. He presented a small amulet, claiming it held unimaginable power. I couldn't resist its allure and purchased it without a second thought. As I continued my exploration, the atmosphere grew increasingly unsettling. The stalls seemed to multiply, creating a labyrinth-like maze that disoriented my senses. Strange figures lurked in the shadows, their faces obscured by hoods and masks. Whispers filled the air, but their words were incomprehensible. My heart raced as I stumbled upon a stall that stood out from the rest. Its owner was a woman with an unnerving smile etched across her face. She offered me a mirror, promising it could reveal the true nature of those around me. Intrigued, I gazed into its depths, only to be met with a reflection of my own distorted visage. Fear gripped me, and I quickly moved on, haunted by the image that lingered in my mind. As the night wore on, the market seemed to warp and shift around me. The stalls became more grotesque, displaying macabre objects that sent shivers down my spine. The vendors' eyes gleamed with an otherworldly intensity, and their voices grew more menacing with each passing moment. Lost in this nightmarish realm, I stumbled upon a hidden corner of the market. There, I found a stall shrouded in darkness, its contents obscured from view. A chilling breeze whispered through the air, urging me to leave. But my curiosity got the better of me, and I approached the mysterious stall. A figure emerged from the shadows, cloaked in a tattered robe. Its skeletal hand extended towards me, revealing a deck of tarot cards. With a voice that echoed through the depths of my soul, it offered to unveil my future. I hesitated, but the lure of forbidden knowledge overwhelmed me. I accepted the offer, and the cards were laid out before me. As the last card was turned, a sinister grin spread across the fortune teller's face. The air grew still, and the market fell silent. I felt a searing pain in my chest, as if 1,000 invisible needles pierced my flesh. Darkness enveloped me, and I lost consciousness. When I awoke, I found myself lying on the outskirts of the market, the sun rising on a new day. The night market had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only my memories and the haunting feeling that I had escaped something far more sinister than I could ever comprehend. To this day, I bear the scars of that fateful night. The amulet remains a constant reminder of the horrors I witnessed in the depths of the night market. I often wondered if it was all just a twisted dream, but the lingering fear in my heart tells me otherwise. The night market may have disappeared, but its presence will forever haunt my dreams, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks just beyond our reality.
The night was dark and moonless, the air heavy with anticipation as I made my way to the infamous night market. Stories had circulated through town for years about the market's eerie offerings, but my curiosity had finally gotten the better of me. The market appeared out of nowhere, its entrance hidden beneath an archway of gnarled trees. As I stepped through, a shiver raced down my spine, like a whisper of something sinister brushing against my skin. Rows of flickering lanterns lined the narrow pathways, casting unsettling shadows that seemed to dance and twist with a life of their own. Stalls were adorned with trinkets and oddities from all corners of the world, ancient relics, exotic creatures in jars, and artifacts that seemed to pulse with malevolent energy. My heart pounded as I ventured deeper, the air growing colder with each step. An old woman with gnarled hands beckoned me over to her stall. She had a crooked smile, her eyes gleaming like polished obsidian. "Interested in seeing what fate has in store for you, dearie?" she purred, her voice sending a shiver down my spine. Her crystal ball seemed to glow with an unnatural light as she gazed into it, her fingers tracing invisible patterns in the air. I hesitated but eventually extended my hand, palm up. She closed her eyes, her voice taking on an unsettling melody as she spoke in an ancient tongue. The wind picked up, carrying whispers that seemed to echo in the depths of my mind. Suddenly, her eyes snapped open, and she looked at me with an intensity that made my blood run cold. "You are marked by darkness," she whispered, her words hanging in the air like a curse. "Beware the path you tread, for shadows will follow you." I withdrew my hand, a chill settling over me. I hurried away from the old woman's stall, my heart racing. The market seemed to stretch on forever, its winding pathways leading me deeper into its labyrinthine depths. As I walked, I caught glimpses of figures moving in the corners of my vision, fleeting, elusive shapes that vanished when I turned to look. A sinister melody drifted through the air, the source hidden behind a tattered curtain. I felt drawn to it, like a moth to a flame. Pushing aside the curtain, I found myself in a dimly lit tent, its walls adorned with faded tapestries depicting scenes of horror and despair. A lone figure sat at a piano, his fingers dancing over the keys in a haunting melody that seemed to seep into my very soul. I couldn't tear my gaze away from him as he played, his eyes fixed on me with an intensity that made my heart race. With each note, a sense of dread and unease crept over me, as if the music itself held a malevolent power. I stumbled backward, my breath catching in my throat, desperate to escape the suffocating atmosphere of the tent. Back outside, I found myself disoriented, the pathways shifting and changing before my eyes. Panic welled up within me as I realized I was lost in the heart of the night market. The lanterns flickered ominously, casting elongated shadows that seemed to reach out for me. Whispers filled the air, voices that seemed to come from all directions at once. Their words unintelligible yet laced with a sense of impending doom. I stumbled upon a stall adorned with mirrors of all shapes and sizes. My reflection stared back at me, but its eyes were hollow, its smile twisted into a grotesque sneer. I recoiled, backing away from the mirrors, only to find that they seemed to multiply, surrounding me on all sides. Each reflection of myself seemed to mock and accuse, as if they knew the secrets I dared not admit. As the night wore on, my fear deepened. I stumbled through the maze-like market, my heart pounding in my chest. Shapes moved in the darkness, just beyond the reach of the lantern light. Whispers and laughter echoed around me, a cacophony of unsettling sounds that seemed to crawl under my skin. Finally, I spotted the archway that marked the exit. With a surge of hope, I hurried toward it, the market seemingly resisting my escape. But as I passed beneath the arch, a chilling wind swept through the air, extinguishing the lanterns and plunging the market into darkness. I stumbled and fell to my knees, my heart racing as the shadows closed in around me. In that suffocating darkness, I felt a presence, a malevolent force that seemed to wrap itself around me, squeezing the air from my lungs. The whispers grew louder, forming a chorus of eerie voices that seemed to be chanting something in a language I couldn't understand. My vision blurred, and I felt myself being pulled into a void of pure terror. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the darkness lifted. I found myself lying on the ground at the edge of the market, the archway looming above me. The lanterns had been relit, their warm glow pushing back the shadows. Trembling, I pushed myself to my feet and stumbled away from the night market, my heart heavy with the weight of the horrors I had witnessed. To this day, the memory of that night haunts my dreams. I can still hear the whispers, still feel the chill of the wind, and still sense the malevolent presence that lingered within the depths of the market. The old woman's words echo in my mind, a constant reminder that I had ventured into a realm of darkness that should have remained untouched.